And we are live. Alrighty then. Hey everybody, I am Mike TheZorch. So I can see what everyone's saying. Okay. Everybody, I am Mike TheZorch, and welcome to Bike with Mike. Now, I started this, it was last year. I was going to use my exercise bike, and I did it one time, and it was rough on me. And I hadn't done it since, and I did it. Then I did an episode of this the other day where I wasn't on it because my knees were hurting, and I was waiting for my knees to finally heal up so they would stop hurting so I could try out using this, because I really need to, because this is a it's not a regular exercise bike. It's not one of those where you sit on it and you ride it. It's one of those under your desk style ones. It doesn't have a seat. It's just the pedals. It's big and heavy and stuff. It's one of those ones that you keep under your desk at work and stuff. So that's what I bought for myself to exercise with. Haven't used it for a while, and I need to, because I am fluffy. I need to unfluffy. I've been eating a lot better. In fact, last night, for the very first time, I made some keto spaghetti. We don't be in this diet we're on. It's keto compatible. We don't eat wheat. Nothing with gluten in it. We don't eat anything with processed sugar. No cane sugar, beet sugar, anything like that. If it's coconut sugar, that's fine, because it's part of the coconut itself. Coconut sugar is part of the coconut itself. Or if it's Swerve, I had some coffee the other day with Swerve, and it was really good. Left sort of a grit at the bottom of the cup, but that's fine. Actually almost tasted like equal in a way, but it was good. It was good. So last night made from scratch spaghetti sauce, and also baked a couple of spaghetti squash and served that up, and with some ground beef. And Tygra and Dave liked it a lot. So it's going to be one of the meal things that we'll do that we're alternating around. They also liked the pizza I did some time ago. I've got a better pizza. I've got a better cheese grater for that to work with, and also I'm going to work on some better ways of working with the dough, because it's a very cheesy dough. So working with that, maybe what I need to get is something to cut out round pizza shapes in the dough that it produces for the pizza. Now already got the pizza sauce recipe. That works out really well too. They really liked that. So I may make that again. We got the zucchini for attempting to make the zucchini bread today, and I may make some. We got some jamaica. Jamaica is sort of a root. It's sort of like a rutabaga. We're gonna try making fries with that, because there was a recipe for, or there was a suggestion of using jamaica as an alternative to potatoes to make fries. And they said that they bake up like fries. We can put them in the tumbler in our air fryer, hot air fryer, and make them like French fries. And I've got a recipe for making our own ketchup. We make everything ourselves so that we don't have any weird stuff in it. No artificial chemicals or sugar or anything like that in it. So we make everything pretty much almost from scratch. And there's a few things we have to get that's in the can, of course. Like the crushed tomatoes I used last night. The diced tomatoes that I often use in the soup we have, because we sometimes have soup. I even make mayonnaise fresh. Mayonnaise is easy. Mayonnaise is really easy to make. It's one egg and a cup of light tasting olive oil. Then you get a stick blender and you basically blend it till it's creamy. And you can flavor it by putting stuff like garlic or garlic powder, onion powder, dill, and stuff in it. May make that for make that bread, zucchini bread recipe that I saw, and either make, you know, chicken salad sandwiches for lunch, or make a soup for lunch, or whatever. Made a nice stew, modified a hamburger soup recipe that was not keto or paleo, and made a good stew out of it, and that worked out really well. So we've been eating like kings lately, but we've also been eating a lot better. Now it's a keto and paleo diets are high fat. More keto is high fat, but even though it's high fat, it's a good kind of fat, and also without the wheat, without the sugar, it does not. Without the wheat and sugar and gluten, it doesn't stick to you. It doesn't pump you up. It actually makes you lose weight. That's the weird thing about this. Can't hold you and do this at the same time. Okay. Yes, I know you want attention. You always want attention, don't you? Yes. You are so spoiled. You are so spoiled. Okay. Alright, go on. Alright. Time to do this. Make sure that I'm in this room. Just wanted to make sure, and I've got the chat window open so I can see if anybody says anything. I don't know if anyone's even watching. That's all right. All right. Now, this is an old chair. I'm gonna save up to get a new one. Found one I can get that's a 500-pound weight limit. I am definitely not 500. Definitely not, but it's got a high weight limit and it's got a wide base. So I'm going to save up and get me one of those, because this chair is old. I've had this chair since 2012. So yeah, this thing is I think 6 years old. No wonder it is so damn beat up. So it definitely needs to be replaced. Yeah, I can already feel my knees starting to ache a little. I've always had trouble with my knees. A long time ago, me and my ex, we were in a car. What did we have? We had one of those Geos. And them little Geo cars. And somebody almost ran us off the road on the freeway, I-75 in Detroit, and we slammed into the middle median. the airbags went off. Well, car's so small, my knees were crunched up. Airbags smacked into my knees, and ever since then my knees have hurt. Right now I'm not going to try and push myself too hard, because this is because it's been a while since I've ridden one of these. Did this. Used this exercise bike and everything. Okay, that's better. There was a Velcro strap that went with this that was supposed to hold it to your chair, and I lost it. I don't know where it's at. So what I've got is I've got a sturdy box planted against the wall, and I've got this pushed up against the wall down there, so it's not sliding away on me like it was before the first time I did this. And my knees are really starting to go now. But you know, it's not as bad as it was the first time. I've actually gotten more exercise running around the kitchen, because I spend a lot more time in the kitchen now, because most of the dinners we make more involved. I still use a chair in there. I've got a chair that I sit in and do most of my work in, but I'm moving around a lot more, and so I'm moving around a whole lot more. Should have done is turn on my fan. It's starting to get warm in here. It's I don't know what the temperature is outside. We still have the heat, but the heat is on. And this room gets hot now, because I've got that booster in the register on the floor. But before I wasn't getting any air. So in the summer this room would stay hot, because the sun was beating down on the roof and the side wall and everything. So I've got a fan up on the wall. I've got one of those fans that hangs on the wall, and it blows air. In the summer, I can aim it out of my room and have it blow the air out of my room, blow the hot air out, or I can have it blow in and just make the air in the room circulate around. Plus I got a little USB fan on my desk that I turn on. I'm gonna turn that on now. Okay. Oh, it's not exactly pointed at me. When we lived in Maryland, we used to go to Bally's, and the exercise bikes there had a fan built in, had a little air fan built into it. A lot of the treadmills did too. That's when I was in a little better shape than I am now. We used to, it was an exercise thing that we did in the pool. We just basically walk back and forth to the pool. It's actually, you'd think, oh, he's walking back and forth in the pool, the water is holding him up, so he's not really doing that much more exercise. Well, actually you are, because you have the resistance of the water. So it's actually, you're using the buoyancy in the water to keep keep the stress off your legs, but you're actually working harder to move forward because of all the water resistance. So walking back and forth in a pool like that is actually very good exercise, especially for people who are really heavy and have a hard time walking. If you get into a pool and you just walk back and forth, that's actually very good exercise. And the cat is down here rubbing her hand against my hand. Now, today is Wednesday. I'll do this again Friday. I'm not going to start doing this every day. I'm going to do this every other day because it's a lot. I need to ease into it. So I don't want to push myself too hard because I'll get overheated, and also my legs are going to be screaming the entire day after doing this. And after doing some of this, I've got some weights to work with my arms to get some strength back into my arms too. And one of my goals that I've set is I want to be able to get down to a low enough weight that I can actually get a regular bike, because getting a bike for someone who's heavy is expensive as hell. It is really freaking expensive. I mean, for a good bike with a 500-pound limit, it's like $1,000. Holy shit. So I want to get my weight down by summer so that I can ride a regular bike. I can just save up 100 something, buy a Schwinn, yeah, mountain bike or something or whatever, and be able to ride that around. You know, I'd still like a adult trike of some kind, but those will be pricey. Maybe by that time we might be able to actually get something like that. Most I've seen that are really good are over $1,000. You know, and things that are popular for people who are, you know, kind of big like us, are those worksite bikes and you know, cargo bikes, basically cargo tricycles and stuff. Those are popular for people who are big and want to exercise and ride bikes around. Over $1,000 for most of them. And then those that are not over 1,000 are about 500. So way out of my current budget. Whew. Now, if you want to get onto the same diet that I'm on, well, actually me, Tygra, and Dave are on, a few things you need to know. One, it means making a few sacrifices. One of them being no bread, no wheat. Wheat is what makes the fat stick to you. The gluten, no gluten, means also no gluten-free wheat bread, because again, the bread makes it stick to you. Gluten is very difficult for our bodies to digest. I recall also it's sort of a it also is sort of inflammatory. So it's not really great for us at the same time, and it's difficult to digest. The other thing also is no sugar, no processed sugar, no cane sugar, no brown sugar, no beet sugar or anything like that. So you have to watch ingredients and stuff you buy. That means most anything that you buy that is prepackaged food is out, because most of it has some kind of sugar in it. You'll also have to find, if you like bacon, you will have to find uncured bacon without sugar. We found a brand, I don't remember the name of it offhand. We have some in the refrigerator. We have to go to the Albertsons here in Texarkana to find it, because Walmart doesn't carry it. The only store that we know of that actually has it. So it's uncured without sugar. Because everything else uses some kind of brown sugar. I forget the name of it. It starts with an A, they called it. It was a name that started with an A, but it's a type of brown sugar. That doesn't mean that you can't have sweet things. You can have fruit, bananas, oranges, stuff like that. That's with simple sugars. The simple sugars that exist in those things. You can have those, but processed sugar, and most definitely not high fructose corn syrup. Nothing with that. In fact, no corn. So if you're a big corn person, you're out of luck, because that's also off the menu. You'd have to avoid things with cornstarch as well, because the starches will produce a lot of sugars in your blood. Dave, he is, forget which type diabetic it is. It's the one where you don't take the injections. You just take the pills. Well, his blood sugar, since starting this diet, has actually dropped significantly, lower than it has been in years. He's almost below the threshold of being considered diabetic. He's getting close. So his blood sugar's actually dropped that far. So this is actually working. His diet's actually very good for you. The other thing is, it's not cheap. You'll have to make everything from scratch, or most everything from scratch. You can get, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, tomato sauce that doesn't have anything funky in it, for relatively cheap at the store. We bought a whole bunch of it yesterday. You can also get broth, chicken and beef broth that doesn't have any sugar in it. In fact, the Swanson brand is mostly known for not having sugar. We found a few that did, but the ones we buy don't. There's also, remember also, you also have to get a lot of the spices, herbs and spices. Some of those can be expensive. Some of them can be $5 a bottle, and you're going to be using a lot of them. You have to buy all the veggies. Since you can't use wheat, you're going to have to get almond flour or coconut flour. Coconut flour is a little difficult to work with because it's so absorbent. Almond flour is a little easier to work with, but it has a very bland taste. So you'll have to get creative with the flavor. You can make what's called fathead bread. That's what the pizza dough was. There was a fathead bread where it uses a lot of cheese with some almond flour. And that's how I made the pizza dough. So You don't have to give up eating most of the stuff you like. It's just that you're gonna have to make it different. Like pizza, you're gonna have to make it from scratch yourself. You can get pepperoni. Pepperoni we have is okay. And we're gonna try it sometime with bacon and ground beef and pepperoni. Probably not today, but sometime we're gonna do that. You can make spaghetti. You're gonna have to use spaghetti squash. Make the spaghetti sauce from scratch. You can have various soups. There's a chicken taco soup that I make that's really good. There's a beef chili recipe I've got that's really good, that we all like. The first time I made it, it was too hot for Dave, and even for Tygra. Not for me, I like hot stuff. So I toned down the second time I made it, I toned down the cayenne pepper too much. Next time I made it, it was much better. So that's what I'll do next time. Instead of the whole tablespoon of cayenne pepper, I'll use just a teaspoon, because 3 teaspoons is a full tablespoon. I'll use just a teaspoon of cayenne pepper whenever I make that again. Plus, we have rotisserie chicken. We have a hot air fryer that we made French fries in, but now we'll use that to make our Jamaica fries. And we can also do rotisserie chicken in that, because it's got a rotisserie thing. We've got whole chickens too. We haven't made those yet. I gotta figure out a good recipe for those, or what to serve with it. We've got broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, green peppers, different stuff. So you have to buy everything that will go into the recipe. So being on this diet means it's going to be a little more expensive. Booting up the whole thing of eating like this will be expensive starting out. We spent a lot of money that we just really didn't have starting this up. Tygra invested a lot of money into it, just starting this whole thing. And not that we have a whole lot to begin with, but it cost a lot to get started. But after that our grocery bills have not been as high. The last we went was like 120 something. So it's not been that high. But expect things to be a little more expensive, because it make it harder for you to avoid stuff like wheat, sugar, and all that stuff. So it's not easy. And when it comes to things like ketchup and spaghetti sauce and pizza sauce and Worcestershire sauce and all that stuff, finding things that are safe for that diet, no sugar, no wheat, anything like that, yeah, you're gonna have to make it all yourself. Now we got lucky with the soy sauce. We found liquid aminos. It was a Bragg's brand, and that is compatible with the diet we're on. So we used that, and that was really good. Use that for the Chinese stir fry. Okay. Oh, my knees. Oh. Okay. Whew. Oh, yeah, it's been half an hour. It seemed like it. I wasn't expecting to be on a long time today doing this. As I said, I am starting out slow. I'm starting out slow. I want to work my way up to be able to use this thing longer. And my knees are gonna be screaming today. And I see our ISP is freaking out. But I think I'm gonna leave it off here. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it off here. I am anybody who might be watching or will be watching later on YouTube, thanks for sticking around, listening to me yammer while I exercise on my bike, or this exercise bike down here. It's something that I've needed to do. I've been putting it off for too long, and I needed to get back on it. So I will be back Friday. I don't have a set schedule. I've learned a long time ago, if I set schedules, something will come up or something will happen where I'm not able to meet it. So again, thanks for watching. I have been Mike. I'll do more next episode, probably work with my weights too, and the exercise bike. Also, hopefully our internet will be cooperating, like it's not right now. All right, yeah, it's really freaking out. Alright, until before this thing completely dies on me. I've been Mike, thanks for watching, see you guys next time.